Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to discuss about CSS properties for list, CSS properties for table, and CSS properties for forms. Okay, but before that, I would like to discuss something about pseudo class and pseudo elements. Okay, so what is pseudo element or what is pseudo class in CSS? Okay, so pseudo classes are used to highlight a state or used to add the property based on state of element. Okay, so then what state, or we can say to add style based on state of element. So what is a state means? Okay, state means it's very simple. If you over the mouse or what activity you are doing with that element, whether you have clicked or you have just over the mouse, so these kind of activities are handled with pseudo classes. Means if you want to give the property, okay, so let's say i have I have a webcam. Okay, I will say here webcam. So now I wanted to add a style to this h1. But when, okay, normally when I will say color, I will say h1 color. Okay, and I can pick any color. So I will pick blue. Okay, maybe other, I will say green. Okay, and if I refresh this, okay, content is not there. Maybe I have not saved. Okay, and yes, so webchamp is here. But whenever I over the mouse, or whenever my mouse is comes over this text or this h1, I wanted to change the color. Okay, I wanted to change the color. So what I can do, I will say I will use the pseudo class. Okay, what is a pseudo class then for this activity? Okay, so there is a pseudo class called h over, and if I say h1 colon, I mean this is the syntax for using pseudo classes. Okay, and I will say h1 colon over. Okay, so now if I say color, and I will pick this color. Okay, so if I go and refresh the page, and now if I over the mouse, the moment the state is reached, or it's a special state, we can say special state of element, when we are trying to perform, or it's just an indication that my mouse is over an webcam. Okay, and with respect to the link, we have, with respect to link, if you want to work with link, okay, we have these many pseudo classes to work. And I have discussed in my previous video, in that where I have discussed about the cs link styles. Okay, so now what I will do, I will just add simple link here. Okay, so how to add link? By to add a link, we need to use anchor tag. Okay, and I will say anchor. We'll add some text here. I will add webchamp, and I will say, okay, any other link I will provide here. So that is not here with me. So I will pick the link from this folder. And as I did the some styling, or as I prepared one page as okay. So what I will do, I will add a reference of another page. So this is how hyperlink works in HTML. So now if I refresh the page here, you can see the style is, I mean, already added here. So that style is picking up. Okay, I will remove this style. Okay, and here you can see the default style is just a webcam color, and it is taking a color of this color. Okay, coral color. It is marking us that link is visited. Okay, the cache may be saved from that, but when I over the mouse, it is again changing the color as I declared here. Over color for anchor tag, over color is like this. And if when the moment I click on this, it will be a golden color because I mentioned here. And the active is indicated, means these are also pseudo classes. Over is a pseudo class, okay, which we can use with anything. These classes we use mostly with active, visited, and link with links. Then there is a one more pseudo class. Okay, there is a one more pseudo class which is called as first element. Okay, so what is first element? What I will do, I will say, let's say I have a list. So we are going to learn this how to style a list. So I will start with list here, and I have a list and I will add li element, right? So this is how we can add li element, and I will say names I can take randomly, or subject names I will say Hindi. Okay, any list we can pick. Okay, and I will give four elements. Four elements. Okay. Hmm. Marathi. The next is English, and last we can say history. Okay, so we have this list. Okay, so this will not work for us. We have to see the next element, or that is what we say as a first element, or first element means I wanted to add style to this Hindi only. What I will do, I will use yali, okay, yali element, and I can say color, color, color can be anything. Okay, let's say dark green, and okay, here I picked a dark green color, but by default, color is taking for all those elements. But I wanted to add the color only for the Hindi, only for the Hindi, and that color should not be applied to other list components. Okay, so I can do what I can do. I will say list colon, and there is something called, okay, here you can see the first element fist dash first element is there. Okay, first element, it's not a first element, it's first child, as we are getting suggestion. And yes, because yala is the first child of this ul, right? And that is the only Hindi, first child is Hindi. It, so whatever the property we will mention here, that will not be applicable for other list, means apart from first element. Okay, that properties will not be applicable. I will say brown. I'll go and I will refresh the page, and here you can see the color of Hindi is changed only. So if you want to add the property of first child, or we can say the first element of any Okay, any of the elements, or any first child elements. So let's say I have evil, and what I will do, I will say here I will change first evil. Okay, first child. Let's see what will affect. So li, for li it is getting picked, and here you can see the difference. Okay, so here we have declared that first evil, okay, first child. So it will indirectly check, or directly it will check for the UL elements, and wherever it founds that UL is the first child of any parent, any means any, okay. And if I change this to P, okay, so now what happens? So I have added one more sibling element to this eval, and now this eval is not a first child. Okay, this eval is not a first child, but we have said that if eval is a first child, then that property should be applicable. Okay, so I will say webcam, and I will run this. Okay, so here you can see it is not taking up any of the property because do not found, it do not found UL as a first element. UL as a first element. So this is how pseudo classes works. It find the state of element, and if it matches, then and then only the properties will be applicable. Sorry, pseudo classes I should say. Uh, this is the use of pseudo classes. When the state of element matches, then the properties will be applicable to that particular element. Okay, so we have something called focus, one more element, that is what called a focus. But focus is works with only for input of form element, only for input of form element. Okay, so what I will do, I will say I'm just adding one demo input. Okay, and I will say input form input type text. Okay, and here I will say, okay, input colon focus. Okay, and I would like to say the background color would be changed to this. So now what happened? One form element or one input here you can see. That is what I have added. And I said the background color of that input should change when I click on that by using focus. Okay, focus is nothing but when user clicks on that particular input. Okay, so here if I add more inputs, you can see it will pick the input which is, or for which I have clicked on. So if I click here, it will pick the that property for that particular element only. It will not pick for the other. Okay, so this is how focus or pseudo classes works. And it deals with the state of elements. Okay, it bets on state will change based upon user activity. Now we have something called pseudo element. Pseudo element. Okay, and it deals with, okay, pseudo elements are used to style specified part of an element. Okay, used to style, or I can say used to add style to specific element. Specific element. So let's see how this works. Or for pseudo element, we need to use double colon. Okay, so we can differentiate between these two as a, for pseudo class, if you see the single colon, we can say that that is a pseudo class. And if you can see double colon, or if you want to use the pseudo element, then you need to use the double colon. Okay, what I will do, I will remove this property. Now everything would be blank. Okay, no property, nothing. So now first element I would like to discuss is a first line or first letter is there. Okay. So let's say I have a paragraph called, okay, I need to add webcam is learning channel. I will just add, okay, add here I will pick and I will create this as a one paragraph. So here we have a large text in the form of paragraph. And I wanted to add a style to this only first line. Then what I can do, I will say P colon colon and first line. And I will say color. Okay, color will be aqua. Just for demo purpose. And I will refresh this. So here you can see only first line is picked automatically from that paragraph. Okay, from that paragraph, first line will be picked. Means what we can do using a pseudo element. So we can style a specific part of element. Okay, with pseudo classes. Okay, that is a very very small difference between pseudo class and pseudo element. Pseudo classes deals with the state based on user activity, and pseudo classes deals with specified part of element, as like I have specified first line as a element part of this P. Okay, so now I would like to see next pseudo element. If I decided, or if I have to add the style to the, not to the first line, I have to style the first letter. Okay, so what I will do, I will say P colon colon first letter, and I will say font size 100 pixel. Okay, and what I will do, I will go here and I will refresh this, and here you can see only first letter size is changed to 100 pixel. Okay, so this is how pseudo elements are provided. Now we have next pseudo element, which is called as a marker. Okay, and colon colon marker. Okay, so now I used marker. What does this mean by marker? And not to P, okay, I will use it for li. Okay, and for li I use the marker, and I will say color. Color I can declare, okay, I will say brown. And what it will do for me. Okay, so here you can see the list markers color is changed. Okay, so you can see this list marker color is changed. If I change this to blue or this color, so and if I go here and if I refresh, here you can see that that color is picked for the marker. Okay, so this is how marker works. So now next is I wanted to add a style. When I select this, by default it is taking a blue color, but I wanted to change this color. Okay, I wanted to change this color. I don't want whenever I select this content of my page, it should not pick a blue color. Okay, then what I can do? Okay, I will say li colon. Okay, not colon, single colon. We have to use the double colon, and then I will say selection. Okay, after selection, I will say background color and blue violet. Okay, and now I refresh and I will select. So now color is changed. This is how pseudo elements works. Okay, there are many other you may found, okay, as and when required. Based on the needs, we can search on Google and we can find out the specific pseudo element name. Now we got a clear picture about what is a pseudo class, what is a pseudo element. Now I would like to style the list. Okay, I would like to discuss on the list style for or CSS for table. I would like to discuss CSS for forms. Okay, so this was necessary to discuss this pseudo element and pseudo class before starting with this, so that it will be easy for us to design these things. Okay, design the list, design the form, or design the table. Okay, I will keep only list. Let's say I have only one list here and I don't want this. Let's understand the list, how list works. Okay, so what I will do, I will say eval. I will say eval, and for eval we know how to add a border, so I will add a border. Okay, I will add a border. Border is 2 pixel solid, let's say green. Okay, so this is taking 100% width. Okay, why? This will be discussed in our display and position property. Okay, so now just understand, it's a block level element. Okay, eval is maybe or may not be block level, but li, the content with which it has, is a block level element. So what I will do, what I need to do, I need to add a style. Okay, border we can add, but I wanted to add style to this Hindi, right? So now I will add border to this li. Okay, so now what is the difference? Okay, you can see that these markers are out of the li area, right? Li area starts from here. I want these markers inside a style, I mean inside the border. Okay, so for that purpose we have property called list style position. So what is the list style position? Okay, so I will say list. First, we should know about list style. Okay, so I will say list style none. I will say list style none. Maybe I have discussed that in one of my previous video. So list style is gone the moment I declare list style. Okay, I will say list style as a circle. What are the different list styles? Okay, so it will pick the circle. Okay, and the it earlier it was a disk. So I will refresh this disk. Okay, if you want square, you can use the square, and the list style will be in square marker. Then if you want to add the numbering, okay, then you need to change the eval to ol. Okay, but we have an option here for Roman style also. So I will say Roman, lower Roman, it will add the style like this, or yes. And if I say upper Roman, so many styles are added here. So here you can see, if you want to add upper alpha, it will pick the capital ABCD. If you want lower alpha, you can use lower alpha and it will say, okay, lower. But I want this style to be inside of this border. Okay. So I have a property called list style position. Okay. So this list style and list style type, everything is same. And now I wanted to talk about this. And I will say inside. Okay. And I will refresh this. Okay. So here you can see we can change the list style position. If you want list style to be inside a li area, okay, it will be inside a li area by using list style position inside. And if you don't want, by default it will be outside, or we have option to call it as a outside and it will be out of li border. Then apart from this, we can add color to this li and this ul. This will not be a big challenge. Okay, you can try different properties, whatever the properties we have seen as of now. Then with respect to list, let me see what is remaining. Okay, line height is there, and if you want to increase the space between these two LIs, okay, so you can use line height, and I will say 100 pixel. Sorry, not 100, I will say 50 pixel. Let's say what it will do. It will add space between two. So we can increase the line height. Okay, I mean the space between two lists element, then list style, list for the list style, we can add a image any if you want. Line break is not related to list, and this is, I think, almost about list. Yes. So with respect to list, we don't have that much properties. So these properties are sufficient. Means list style position, and other properties will be applicable to this list as per the requirement of design. So, so now we will move ahead with CSS for table. Okay, CSS for table. And one thing, remember, okay, if you want to add color to this li, you have to use the li element only. Okay, don't try to add. So this will be inappropriate way. Okay, don't try to add the color or text properties or font properties to this ul. Okay, the element which contain actually text, the property should be applicable. Text related property should be applicable to that particular element, not to the its parent. Okay, it will pick, but it is not good practice. Now let's create one table. So I will add a table by using table tag. Okay, here is my table. And inside the table, I need to add a table row. And first row will have a table heading. I will say name. Okay, name is done. Then I will say th. Okay, and I will say age. Okay, and then if you want to add, okay, another label or table heading as a name, age, and okay, gender. So this is how we can start creating a table. Okay, table is created. Now I would like to add more rows. And I have added 3 rows here. Okay, so what I will do, I will change this to Aditya. Age is of 8 and he is male. Okay, So similarly, I will change it for Shivraj. I will change it for 5 years. Okay, no, not 5. It should be 6. Okay. Then the age is 5. Then we have a name called Sharu. And age is of 3 years and she is a female. Okay. So like this, I can create a table, right? But now the table is not looking beautiful. I need to, or I wanted to add style. Okay, so what I can do, I will say, okay, I will pick the table first. Okay, table element is a bigger element of table, right? Table is a bigger element of table. And I have to add a style or I have to add a border. I will say border. So now let's see how border works. Okay, I will say 2 pixel, solid and gray. Okay, I have added border to this table. And here you can see the border is taking for only the table, not to its child elements, mean TRT and TH. Okay, everything everywhere I have picked the TH. Instead of that, I should change this to TD because this is a table data. For header only, to header header content should be in a block or bold letters. We use the TH, that is the only difference. Otherwise, TD and TH is same, almost same. Only TH content will be highlighted as a bold. I will say TD, TD. Okay, and I will say TD, 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 and TD. Okay, done. And I will go here and I will refresh the page. So now you can see the difference. This is a TH and this is a TD. Okay, so TH is only add style, font style as a, I mean, bold. Okay, so now now I wanted to add this border to all this, so I need to mention, okay, I can give same style to the multiple elements separated by comma. I will say tr. Okay, add this to the tr. Okay, and what it will do, you can see. Okay, it may not get saved. Okay, okay, it is not picking for the tr. Let's change this to td. Okay, and now style is added to the each table data, right? And I wanted to add style to the th also. Okay, I was expecting a border for tr, but this doesn't work. Okay, no problem. So here we can see the border we are able to add here by using this border. And if you want to give the separate border for these two only, you can give. Okay, go to the next line. And if you want to change the size of border, so I will say border of 1 pixel, solid gray. Okay, okay, it's fine. It is picking up green. So now there is a difference. Okay, there is a difference. I mean, there is a space between each TD or each TH. I don't want that space. Okay, I don't want that space. So what I can do, I will say border collapse. I will say border collapse. And I will select collapse. Okay. It Why this is not picking up? Or it should collapse. Okay, I think I need to add this property. Then this property border collapse will work with parent Yes. And it will remove the space. Okay, it will remove the space. Remember this border collapse, we don't have to apply for child element, we need to apply it for the table. Okay, so these are the hints you need to remember while designing, or either we can add everything in one place and you will feel that it is working for all these three. This will also works. Okay, now we are not adding different style, we are adding same style. Okay, what will happen if I remove this? You can see here, it will add a space between two cells. I don't want that. I will say border collapse. Okay, and this is how border works. Now I wanted to add space. Now I wanted to add a space in between border and my content. So we know how to add. Okay, I will say th. Okay, I do not use the. I need to add padding to this only. Right, I don't want to add padding to table unnecessarily. Okay, so I will say padding 10 pixel, and my table is bigger. Now it has added some space around the elements, and elements you will feel that it is at the center. Okay, because it is taking a padding from all the four sides. It is taking a padding from all the four sides. So this is how padding works. Now I don't want this. This should looks like boxes and all. So we can change this to border. Okay, border right, border bottom, and we have a option to add border from any of the side. Okay, now what I need, or what I want, whenever I over the mouse on any of the tr, that tr should get highlighted. Tr means what? Okay, this table row, or I will say first tr whenever I will over the mouse. So I can use the pseudo class here as a hover, right? And tr hover, I will say background color blue violet. I will refresh this, and the moment my cursor is moves on that particular row, the background color will be changed. This is how we can add a style to this table. Okay, if you feel the border is too thick, we can reduce the size, and now it looks better. Okay, now I wanted to make the stripped table. Make the stripped table means what? Okay, so what I will do, I will add few more rows, and I will refresh this. So now we have 6 rows in this table. I wanted to add the style. It should, I wanted to add background color to first row. So we know how to add, right? And I will say tr colon, and I will say first child. Okay, first child. Okay, and first child, and I will say background color. Okay, so this one. So this will add style to my headers. Now I wanted to make this table as a stripped table. What does mean by stripped table? So stripped table is nothing but I have to add background color to either even or odd. Means alternate coloring, alternate background color should be changed. Okay, so what I will do, I will say tr colon. So now we have again pseudo class. Okay, there are many pseudo classes with respect to this, and I will say nth child. Okay, and I will pass here. It will take two values only, either odd or even. I will say even. I mean, the table row which is at even position, means second, fourth, sixth position, alternate position, it should pick a background color of, okay, this dark golden rod. Okay, and here you can see this is how we can make the strip table. And if you want to add another background color to the odd one, you can add color using like this, okay, by using, say, so this is how we can add style. Okay, it has picked the same color uh, for name. Okay, so this property is applying background color to this. Okay, what I will do, instead of this, I will pick that and I will paste here and I will refresh. So now what I did, like, okay, let's understand. If you give the same property, or if you give the same property for the same element, what I mean. Okay, so here we have said apply nth child to the, I mean, this background color to nth. Nth means whenever the you number find odd, and it will start with one. Okay, it will start with one. So first, third will be picked. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to add another background color to this. And what I will do, I will just mention the background color for first child as this color, and I will refresh this. So by default, it will pick the latest, last given property, last given property. And here we are giving a property for only first child, means first row. So it will pick the first row only, and the property will be applicable. Okay, here, and this is how it makes the difference. But remember that if you give the same property by using two different selector or same selector, last given property will be applicable, or I mean that property will give importance. Okay, automatically this happens. We do not need to do anything for this, but we have a control for that. We will see later on. So this is how it was working. By default, it is working. If you want to change this, okay, and anyways you want add this color without even moving this down, you can say important. Okay, the moment you declare any property as an important, first priority should be given to that property. All other properties will be ignored by the browser. Okay, so remember this. This is very important when you work with Bootstrap, because whenever you have to override the Bootstrap property, you need to use this word as a important. Okay, so this is how we can add style to table. Now what I have did, I have added border from all four sides. Instead of that, I would like to add a border from any one of the side. So let's say I want a border from bottom. I will say, I will go here and I will say border bottom. Okay, and you can see the difference. The border is only remaining for the bottom side. Okay, the color is not replicable. I will say red. Okay, and now you can see the border is replicable. Only border is taken for the bottom side, not for all other sides. So this is how we can differentiate. And if you want to add the border here also, you can say that, okay, border, okay, and 2 pixel solid, but you want to add the border to the left side or right side. 2 pixel solid, again it will add border like this. And if you say color, color will be this. Okay, picking any randomly color, and this is how border can be added to the any specific element. We can add border to the tr also. You can add border to the tr also. So you can see here, if I say border top. Okay, so with respect to any side, we can add border, and I will say 2px solid. Okay, this is the style, border style. We have seen we can use dotted and all, anything. Okay, if you as per your requirement, and purple. And I will refresh this, and the moment my cursor is goes above that particular row, it add border, purple color border to that element. Here you can see. Okay, this is how border styling works, and with the help of what we can say pseudo classes. Okay, so pseudo classes and pseudo elements are very important. It will reduce your number of lines of code to make this happen. That if you want to add this kind of style, you may need to write many lines of code, but using pseudo classes, we can directly deal with the state of elements, and using pseudo elements, we can directly deal with part of element. So now I have to discuss about CSS form style, right? So what I will do, I will go here and I will say, okay, I will add a simple form. Okay, I will say h1. So how to design a form, we will see here, h1. Okay, and inside h1, I will say webchamp sign up. Okay, so we are adding a sign up form here just to see how form can be designed. Let's say form. Okay, by default action is picking up, but when you deal with, or whenever you have to submit the data to the backend, you have to mention the file name, or what kind of what I mean file name from backend. If it is a Python, you need to use mention the Python file, which file is going to receive this data, or where the data is getting submitted. If it is related to Java, you can add a Java. Okay, and if it is related to PHP, okay, whatever would be the backend language, accordingly action would be mentioned. Now I have to add label here. I will say first name. Okay, so these all are inline elements, so it will not take 100% width. Okay, and input type text. Input type text. Okay. And okay, what I will do, I will say, okay, first name, or instead of first name, I will say email. Okay, I will say here name only. So everything should be inside of one input, email, and what we can ask for. Then input type, okay, contact. Input type, contact. But here, the moment I said contact, now I wanted to add number. I will say number. Okay, number is there, right? Yes, it is there. And I will go here and I will refresh. So now form looks like this, but this is not looking good. If I change this or reduce to 100%, I mean, I have removed the zoom. And now what is happening? You can see it is taking all the elements, all the labels and inputs in front of each other. So this type of elements we call as a inline elements. Okay, and inline elements never takes 100% width. So what I need to do then, okay, what I will do, I will add a border to the form. Okay, let's start with the designing. I will say, okay, form. Oh my God. Okay. I will say form and I will say border. Okay. Border and 1px is solid. Okay. Just to show you, form is taking 100% width. Means the element form is block level element and the label and input elements are not block level. These are the inline element. So what I will do, I will say I will add width and I will say 20% width. I think this is sufficient and this will, okay, this is still more. So I will say 15% width. Okay, this may, oh, this is not sufficient. Okay, 15 I have taken, so it has taken. Okay, so now my form looks better at this style. Okay, so just remove this. What we need to do, we have to align the form in the proper way. Okay, so I will say let's keep this as it is. Now I wanted to add the button, right? We are missing submit button. So I will say input. I will say input type submit and input type button is also there. Okay, that will pick a button, but you want to make that button actionable, then you can pick submit. Okay, so I have added submit button. I wanted to move the this button to center, right? Then how I can move? If you want to move the element from one place to another place, we have something called margin. Okay, if you I add a margin to this button, this will move to this side. Okay, so now I have to move this button. Okay, if I wanted to move this button, I can add a class to this and I will say class submit. And for the class, we can say dot submit, right? It will pick the property for that particular element and I will say margin. Okay, I don't want margin from all the sides. I want margin from left side. So I will say not 100 pixel. Okay, 50 pixel. Not sure it will pick or not. Okay, it comes to the center. Now remove this border. Okay. And this forms looks like this now. Okay, great to see. And what we are doing, webcam sign up. So now I wanted to add the style to this input element. So the moment I click, its color should be changed. So we did earlier also input colon, okay, sorry, not dot input, it should be input colon focus. So this is what we can use. And focus is there. I will say not color, but background color I would like to pick. Okay, and this color should be this caddet blue. Okay. The moment I click, it will pick the color. And like this, for text and all, we can pick many properties. What are the properties we have seen so far? And if you want to add color, border, if you want to reduce this size, we can change this from H1 to H4. So this will reduce the size of this font so that it will looks like aligned with the form. Okay, and we can center this, right? And to make this center, we have a property called H1 colon text align. I will say center and this H1. Okay, we have not taken border for this. So This is not moving, but we can add little bit margin of same. Okay, just 50 pixel, so that it should move, move. Margin. Okay, left. It is not taking. Okay, to okay, H1 is not there now. How it should take? My bad. So it is taking margin of 50. So I will reduce this to 20. 20 and so this is how form we can design. Okay, and with respect to form, there are, if you want to change the color of label, you can change. Okay, there are whatever the property we have seen, border, color, background, mostly we deal with these properties to style. To add border color, if you want to add border to the bottom side or left side, right side, so these are the actually styling properties. Okay, and form is just, we can add the content in the form of to receive or to allow user to input some data. So here I will say label color. Okay, I will say label and color should be, okay, this color. And okay, and if you want to add or change the border of this, you can change. Okay, what you can do, input, where is input we have taken, and I will say input. If you want to remove the border, you will say border none. Okay, you will not see the border of input, but the moment you click, it will be added. Okay, and if you want to change the color or style of the border, you can change here. So I will say 1 pixel solid yellow. And yes, it is picking up the color for the border. So this is how very simple to design a list, to design a table, and to design a form using pseudo element and pseudo classes. I hope this video makes sense and you have learned with respect to web pages design. Thank you so much for watching this video.